What is going on, IVE Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about what is the best schedule for intermittent fasting to improve weight loss or to improve fat loss. Now, this is a question that I get so many times. I get this question. It's in the top 5 in terms of questions that I receive regarding intermittent fasting. So I decided to create a hub or a place for people to get the answer for that specific question. And of course, I'm going to break it down in this video. Stay tuned. Quickly, before we start, this video is brought to you by yours truly, Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? This jump rope is only $16.50, and with the aluminum handle that provides an ergonomic design and the swivel design that allows you to maximize your speed rope jumping, this is a must grab. You can go ahead and click the link down below or the card on the top right hand corner. And of course, as always guys, thank you for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. This is a question that I've tackled with actually answering because there's so much nuance to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to talk on some of the important points that come with answering this question, what you should be thinking of when you are trying to schedule your intermittent fasting protocol. Now, you can pick whichever one you want. 16-8, for example, is the cutoff for me in terms of getting the benefits, the actual core benefits that come from intermittent fasting. So 16-8 just means that you're fasting for 16 hours and you're eating for 8 hours. After that, I would say a significant jump to make a difference is 20-4. And then after that is 1 meal a day, which is usually 23-1, which is 23 hours, 1 hour eating. And then after that, alternate day fasting, which is fasting for 1 whole day and then eating on the next, and then fasting and then eating, and so on and so forth. So those are the protocols. Now, choosing the protocols is up to you. If you want to be able to have somewhat similar lifestyle to the lifestyle that you've had before, 16-8 is probably the best. If you really want to get deeper into the protocol, then 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating will put you in a range where you are completely separating yourself from the previous lifestyle that you had. It doesn't have that hybrid feel where you feel comfortable even interacting with other people because you have so much time to eat. And if you can place that 8 hours of eating in a really good slot, you can appear somewhat normal to someone else. You're being in that fasted state for a longer time, so the compounding element of that over time can be much better for you. OMAD is just that you're gun-ho, you're fully in it and you don't even really care what anybody thinks. And that compounding element of fasting for 23 hours every single day, it can be very beneficial for you. However, you have to be very diligent with how you eat. You can supplement if you want, but if you're just getting your nutrition from food, you have to make sure that you're understanding what you're eating during the 1 meal a day eating window. And then of course, alternate day fasting, it gives you a lot of time to eat, but then it also gives you a lot of time to not eat. So you end up fasting longer with the alternate day fasting method. So I just gave you a brief description of what those can entail. So you can choose whichever one of those that you want. Anecdotally, I use the 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of eating, but I also create a hybrid, which I call the WARMAD, which is 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating, but I don't actually eat for 4 hours. I just give myself a 4-hour window to eat one time. So it's basically the OMAD, but with different time frames of fasting every day, considering when I choose the window to eat, but knowing that I will always be at least 20 hours of fasting, no matter what. So that's what I call the WARMAD system. It carries a bit of flexibility to it. It doesn't feel very restrictive. It's an OMAD with some flexibility to it, basically. So understanding those protocols, now to get into the meat and potatoes to enhance your weight loss, let's dive a little bit deeper into certain elements scientifically that can help you. Now, for example, morning eating versus eating at night. A lot of people like to eat late at night. A lot of people like to eat in the morning. There have been studies that show that eating in the morning can be more beneficial than eating at night. And the reason this is because of your circadian rhythm. The way it works, normally your metabolism is more active, it's highly active in the morning versus at night. So if you're eating during that time where it's highly active, you're breaking down the calories much more effectively than if you were eating at night. However, fasting in and of itself still carries its own inherent benefits of partitioning calorie breakdown to be body fat to help improve metabolism as well with retaining muscle. So even if you do it in the night, you still are getting the inherent fasting benefits that come from fasting itself. But you might get added benefits from eating in the morning as opposed to eating at night based on the studies that have come out because of that circadian rhythm aspect. But that's an addition to intermittent fasting. But you also have to think about another thing. Do you work out? Do you actually go to the gym? If you do go to the gym and you work out, there has been a really powerful study that came out in 2017, a Japanese study. And the reason why I say this study is powerful is because the participants could not go anywhere for 24 hours. They were stuck in a metabolic chamber, and it was 9 females in a metabolic chamber that tracks calorie output. It actually tracks calorie output very accurately. And it also shows that the participants weren't doing anything else because they are trapped in a metabolic chamber with the researchers, so they can look at everything that they're doing. They had people skip breakfast and then work out, so basically working out in a fasted state, and they had people not skip breakfast and work out. They noticed that there was an increase in fat oxidation with the fasted group versus those that were eating breakfast before going into their workout. And they saw this within a 24-hour time frame. Now, one of the biggest arguments that people have against fasted workouts is that even though fat oxidation was taking place, you didn't truly get to the point where you completely burn all of those calories and you have the same amount of calories burned, the same amount of total fat oxidation as someone else who doesn't do fasted cardio during the 24-hour time frame. So you're burning more during the workout, but it evens out at the end. This is not just looking at the participants outside of a metabolic chamber. This is keeping the participants in a metabolic chamber and then looking at the results so you can determine what a 24-hour time frame of fat oxidation is actually concluding to. And this showed that the group that was doing the fasted cardio did indeed have a higher increase in fat oxidation over that 24-hour period. So that means that if you want to go to the gym in a fasted state, you may not want to go ahead and eat breakfast, even though you will get that little boost based on the circadian rhythm for eating in the morning as opposed to eating at night. So everything has its pros and cons. In my opinion, though, I would want to go into a workout fasted. If you work out early in the morning, very early, for example, maybe 8 o'clock, and you finish at 9 o'clock, then you can go ahead and eat if you want to because you already went into the workout in a fasted state. And that is taking into account that because you're eating early, you are fasting for most of the day, going to sleep, still fasted. So you're in that post-absorptive range, the metabolic switchover, you're in that fasted state, and then you're going to the gym. So you are truly fasting. That switchover has already happened for you. Some people just eat right at night, right before they go to sleep. They go to sleep, wake up, then work out, and they think they're fasting when in reality, they haven't met the time frame to hit that post-absorptive range just yet. So they're truly not actually in a fasted state, and that has damaged a lot of the study conclusions because a lot of researchers consider overnight fast as fasted cardio versus non-fasted cardio, and that confuses so many people. It makes people think that, oh look, fasted cardio doesn't work. But when the participants are actually fasted, that's when you see the fasting cardio shine. So if you're truly in a fasted state, which means 8 to 12 hours of fasting after you eat, then you can go ahead and go to the gym in a fasted state and then eat after. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds if you go to the gym earlier. Then you also want to take into account your lifestyle because that's incredibly important. What is your actual lifestyle overall? Why is this important? because adherence is the most important thing. Even all of these benefits that you get from burning fat, eating in the morning, from burning fat, going into a fasted cardio, even though you get all of those benefits, you still want the benefit of being able to create a groove where you can do this for the rest of your life, because you don't want to just do it for the weight loss and then go back to what you were doing before, because it's not going to be effective, as every other diet would not be effective if you do this. Why? Because you will start going back into the habits that got you to the place that you didn't want to be in the first place. So you want to find something that makes sense for you. That's why I say if 16-8 makes sense for you, and you don't see yourself being able to increase the fasting time frame, stick to 16-8, because adherence is the most important thing. If you feel that you can get it to 20 hours and you can pull that off and still feel comfortable, then go ahead and do 20 hours. You want to get into that groove. So lifestyle scheduling matters. If you work in the morning, if you work at night, if you work overnight, what's your lifestyle schedule? And then use that to plug in your intermittent fasting schedule. For example, some people that work overnight, if you work overnight, you may want to think of eating during the overnight time frame, because you're awake during those 8 hours. So if you work from 11 at night to 7 in the morning, you might want to eat during that time frame and then fast for the rest of the day until, you know, that time frame starts again. Or you can work and just like drink water during your overnight time frame, and then when you wake up after you go to sleep, maybe at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then eat at that time, closing in on going to work, and then you already feel full at work and you're just drinking water. It's up to you, but you have to make it work with your lifestyle schedule. If you work from 7 to 3, then you want to go ahead and put it somewhere in between that. If you want to go to lunch and be able to eat, or you could do it right before you leave so that you have more variety of how you eat or what you eat, or for you to cook your own food, or maybe you want to pre-pack your food and cook it and then bring it to work. You just have to figure out what works for you. And I point at this, although this doesn't create a mechanism for burning more fat or losing more weight, this does over time prove to be the biggest important factor for you overall, so that the sustainability is there and that you continue to burn fat and lose weight over time. So those are the factors that you want to think of. It's not a one size fits all. There's so much variety within the intermittent fasting protocol itself. If you want to think about something, these are the elements that you could think about when constructing a schedule to improve weight loss and fat loss. Do you want to get the benefits of the circadian rhythm from eating in the morning? Do you want to be in a fasted state when you go into a workout so that fat oxidation can increase over a 24-hour period? Do you want to eat in the middle of the day just because it makes more sense for you because other people are eating in the middle of the day? Do you want to eat at night because it makes more sense for you because other people are eating with you at night? All of these things will help you burn more fat by helping you work off the circadian rhythm, work in a fasted state, and also help you adhere to the protocol for the rest of your life. So I hope this video has helped you guys. All of the studies that I reference will be down in the description below. And of course, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here. And of course, as always, guys, I'll see you on Sunday for another FAQ. Peace!